I asked for $10,000 and free wash. I gave it to him for $5,000 and free wash.
Wait, $10,000 and what?
I asked him for $10,000 cash, and so that I could continue to wash my clothes there.
Your personal clothing?
My personal stuff.
Okay.
Permanently.
This is the plaintiff, Miguel Hernandez. He says he sold his laundromat business to the defendant, and the man's stiffing him on money he still owes him. He's now gone into debt on his credit card. His credit score is taking a beating, and he's here seeking the $2,075.34 he's owed. This is the defendant, Eric Pecunia. He says he knows nothing about this credit card payment the plaintiff's claiming he owes him for and thinks this is a frivolous lawsuit. Apparently, he used this credit card to pay off the landlord the back rent he owes. There's nothing in his contract about owing it, and he thinks the very smart judge is going to agree. He's accused of not getting taken to the cleaners.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Milian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Okay, Salsa Laundromat Incorporated and Miguel Hernandez and Nora Cano, who you have power of attorney for. You are suing Eric Pecunia, who bought your business for $2,000 some odd dollars because you say he actually owes you $27,000. What are you talking about? What happened in this case?
On January 3rd, he was recommended from a mutual person that worked in the industry because I was doing dry cleaning and laundry, and so was he, and I was going to fold the business on that day. I made arrangements to pay my creditors and sell all my equipment, and he walked in hour before that happened, stopped the whole thing, and I, made sure that he was really interested because people were renting trucks to pull the equipment out and all that, and I had to pay for all that. So he said, yeah. And so that day, I showed him what he wanted, the utility bills and the lease. And then I had to show him this document.
Which is what?
Which is the agreement. I was in court with the landlord, and the increase in my rent was going to $1,000 in July, I believe. And
What'd you go to court with your landlord for?
I went to the court. I stopped paying her rent because the increase was too steep.
Right, but you didn't pay her the other rent either. Not the $1,000, but nothing. How long had you not been paying rent?
Not sure because
how much rent did you owe? Look at the settlement. How much rent did you owe?
I had to give her $25,000 towards leaving a balance of $30,000.
So you owed $50,000 in back rent?
About 50. Well,
and how much was your rent per month?
$3,200.
Okay, so you have been in arrears for quite a bit of time. You sold your business to him for how much?
I really didn't sell the business. I paid $100,000 for the business, and I let him have it at I asked for $10,000 and free wash. I gave it to him for $5,000 and
free wash. Wait, $10,000 and what?
I asked him for $10,000 cash, and so that I could continue to wash my clothes there.
Your personal clothing?
My personal stuff.
Okay.
Permanently, because I didn't sell the business to him.
You didn't sell the business?
Not really, because the business, the market...
If you didn't sell the business to him, why are you suing him today to pay debts of the business?
Because we made an agreement that he would give me $5,000 and I would get the free wash permanently.
Okay.
Okay, so I let him take over the business at that point. I don't feel like I was really selling it because I paid...
So what were you doing? Why was he giving you $5,000?
Well, to take over the business, he had to give me something. I just couldn't give it to him.
So you sold him the business for $5,000?
Pretty much. Pretty much. I sold it to him for $5,000, you could say.
Okay, why do you then think he also owes, you apparently had to pay the landlord $25,000. And how did you pay that $25,000?
The business had a credit line of $25,000 from American Express. It was there all the time.
Always there. All right. So you took the credit line, got $25,000 from a card that the business had, paid the landlord that, And your opinion and the reason you've come to court is that you think he's responsible to pay that?
That's not exactly how this worked out.
I don't even understand your laws because you're asking for $1,600. You amended it today to $2,075. What is $2,075? That represents what?
The payments that he didn't make towards the card when he took over the business.
Oh, towards the card where you took out $25,000 to pay for your back rent?
That was the agreement, for him to take all the expenses, and then I would sign the business over to him.
When are you planning on paying the $25,000? Are you ever going to pay down the credit card?
I made an agreement with him to take over the business and all the expenses. If he took the business, he had to take all the expenses with it, because I really didn't.
So your plan is to never pay the $25,000, and for him to pay the carrying cost of the $25,000 you never pay?
My plan was.
Is that right? I think that's right. I think that's what you're saying.
The deal that I made with Eric Pecunia was for him, if he wanted the business, to take over all the expenses of the business.
So I am asking you a very direct question, and I need a very direct answer. So you're saying any interest and fees on the $25,000 in perpetuity he has to pay, and the $25,000 you never have to pay back, right?
That was one of the payments that he had made.
Okay.
One of the
What
payments.
is going on?
7 months ago, we had come together through an acquaintance.
Yeah, you bought his
business
business.
acquaintance, right?
And how much did you buy his business for?
$5,000. What he was
Okay.
asking.
Do you have paperwork from that sale?
Yes, we have the contract.
Okay. And does that paperwork say anywhere that you're supposed to pay interest on his credit cards because that is a debt that belongs to the business and not him, et cetera, et cetera?
Says nothing
Did you
in-
keep his business name?
I did not keep the business name. It's now
He
Clothesline
did
Laundromat.
Just a moment, sir.
Sorry.
It is now Clothesline and Laundromat 2 because I own another laundromat. It's named Clothesline 1 in Great Killstown.
It is now Clothesline 2.
Yes.
And what was the name when he had it?
It was Salsa Laundromat.
Right.
Salsa
It was
Inc.
Salsa Laundromat.
Right, and that's the credit card was Salsa Inc. / Miguel Hernandez. Hernandez is also on the credit card. His name, his personal name is on the card. And when, because he took the card out, the business didn't come with the card when he bought the business. He took the card out in the name of the business to get his credit through the business credit.
Right.
So that's how he got that card that he's asking me to pay.
When was the first time you heard about, what was the first time he called you and said, hey, you're going to pay off this card? Like
That was just coincidentally a couple of days after I finished paying his all the money in the back arrears and the rent, the $5,000 for the
So
business.
wait, you paid $5,000 to him, but the contract also requires you to pay some of his back rent.
And that's all
How
done.
much of his back rent did you pay?
$11,000, and that's all paid.
Oh, so you paid $11,000 plus $5,000, so you ended up paying really $16,000.
Plus his water bill, which is around $2,000, electric bill
Now,
and gas
isn't it
bill.
better for you just to find a location and open up your...
No, it's a good location, and they're
Oh,
building
because
up
you also got all the equipment and stuff.
the equipment. I know, but the dryers I'm still liable to pay, which is $58,000, which is also another $1,300 a month. Yeah.
Oh.
So it's quite a bit. So it's close.
So
it's
why
actually,
was it better to do this?
than to buy another laundromat?
Yeah.
Well, another laundromat, if I would have started from scratch, would be about $500,000 to
Oh,
build
okay.
it.
Show me the paperwork from your sale and show me the settlement, please.
This is when he took.
Why are you saying he's still using Salsa Laundromat?
I had to sign it over to him, the corporation. It's right there. And I'm assuming he handed me that contract
Well,
himself.
that's because, you know how you kept saying that you didn't sell him the business? What this says is seller owns 100% of the membership interest and is selling it to the defendant. That's exactly what you did. You sold it to him. And when you did that, you agreed that the following would be the terms. He'd give you $5,000, so you'd have $5,000 in your pocket. He would pay all the outstanding water bills, electric bills, gas bills, telephone bills for the premises. He would pay the note for the dryers to Dexter Financial. You're out of all that, where your name was on those things and you would have had to pay all this stuff. So where in this document do you think he is obligated to pay your, either your, I guess, your $25,000 debt plus the interest in that line of credit that you took out, which you took out in your name and your company's name before he bought it, in order to give to a landlord when you were in a pickle in landlord-tenant court so that you'd be able to sell it to him. Tell me where in that contract he agrees to take over that credit card.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. When is it that you need a lawyer to protect you in a deal? When does that kind of click in?
Whenever there's a lot of money at stake, but it would be hard to say exactly what the threshold is in terms of monetary.
But money. Okay,
Yeah.
I buy that.
I would say whenever you don't know anything about the situation, you gotta ask for legal advice.
You know what? That's good too. Don't screw it up because you had two good ones.
I mean, if I was in that kind of case, I'd definitely just get a lawyer whenever I start getting that gut feeling. That gut feeling like maybe this isn't going to go the way I want it to go. Let me call up my friend.
I got to tell you, those are three really good answers going inside the courtroom.
Page 4, incur or cancel any debt or claims. And so I couldn't touch the card, put money on it, I couldn't cancel it or anything. So this was all part of the
You
company.
couldn't pay your debts?
He wanted, no, what I'm saying, Your Honor, is that
You know
he
what?
wanted
Just
to-
stop saying anything.
He wanted to take
This is
over.
the silliest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. You have a 4-page, 5-page agreement selling the business, and never anywhere does it say anything about him having to pay interest on the credit card that you took out in your company name, which he doesn't use to operate his laundromat. You've sued only for the interest on it, and your position is, I took out a line of credit, I paid off my landlord, and I never have to pay that. He's supposed to pay in perpetuity the money to carry that debt so that I come out completely clean. It's crazy. It's not in here.
Your Honor, just one more thing here.
What's a promissory note here?
That was probably for the back rent that I paid for him.
You actually have a promissory note from him that says, these are the payments I'm going to make for back rent. It has everything laid out. Where's the rest of it? Where's the American Express card? Verdict for the defendant.
Well, the plaintiff doesn't have proof to convince the judge, and that's not a good day for you here in court. What are you thinking?
The judge really didn't let me talk when I needed to talk.
Oh,
I'm not
she
like
did.
court
She did.
savvy and any of that.
I know, but she let you talk. She
I
looked
had
at the documents.
There was a document here she didn't see, and I was trying to get it to her, and she didn't look at it, obviously.
Why didn't you give it to her?
I tried to. She kept denying me
but
the
you
opportunity.
showed her the contract for the sale.
I
It
asked her
wasn't
to
in
look
the
at.
contract.
I asked her to look at the contract, to show
She
it to
did.
him, to see if it's a contract that he gave me, and she didn't.
I'm sorry, sir.
I know. Thank you so
sorry, sir.
much. It's not over here. It's just the beginning.
You must sign a few documents. You did not do it right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I made a mistake here.
Let me ask you, Mr. Pecunia, was there another document he's talking about?
It's all the same contract.
All the same contracts.
same.
That's what it was. That's what I thought I saw the judge say herself. Yeah, same contract.
Yes, absolutely.
This is a mess.
Not a
But
mess
it's
anymore.
not for you anymore.
Not a mess anymore.
You're
It's all
off the
cleared
hook.
up. I had never was on the hook. I shouldn't have been
Yep.
on the hook in the first place.
Okay.
Hey, another great day above ground. What can I say?
Good way to put it. Another great day above ground. I got to remember that.
Every
one.
day above ground's a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, congratulations. All right, thank you, ma'am. That's a very interesting case. Tough lesson for the plaintiff. Harvey?
I mean, look, these guys were all right. I mean, all of the things, money and everything else. But when you have a complex deal, and think about it, buying and selling a laundromat, I mean, it's like, okay, it's a laundromat. No, there are all sorts of things about liabilities, assets. Whenever it is really complex, do not do it yourself. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Darius. He says the defendant is his no good, dishonest niece who stole money from him. And family or no family, he's taking her to court. He received a settlement check, and because he didn't have a photo ID, he had it made out to her. She took his money, put it into her account, and gave him nothing. How could she do that to him? They're family, for goodness sakes. He's suing for $3,779, the amount he's owed. This is the defendant, Barbara. She says her uncle was thrown into jail around the same time he asked her to deposit a settlement check he received. He told her to use the money to pay his lawyer, and because he knew he was going to be away for a long time, he told her to use the rest of the money for her family. Now that he's been released from prison 3 years later, he wants money, and this is his way of getting it? Trying to sue her in court for something he gave away as a gift? Some people. She's accused of having a family fallout.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff says his niece stole money from him. She cashed a check for him and kept all the loot. But the defendant says she used the money to pay his lawyer and used the rest for her family. It's the case of we aren't family.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Darius, you are suing Barbara for $3,779 that you say you gave her to hold for you while you were in prison and she spent on herself. Tell me what happened.
Well, Your Honor, I was currently incarcerated and I received a settlement. And
While you were incarcerated?
While I was incarcerated,
Okay.
and I bailed myself out with the settlement. I worked it out where I posted my bail. And when I was released, I didn't have any identification. So as a courtesy from the lawyer who litigated the matter, I asked him to place a check in my niece's name because she would cash it for me.
Okay.
And she placed the check in her account, and she cashed it for me.
How much was the total?
The total check was $9,779.67.
Okay, go on.
And the day the check cleared, I was remanded again on the same case
Why?
that I bailed out through litigation of the court.
But
And
why though? If you bonded out, why did they take you back in?
well, they took me back in because there was a dispute between me and the attorney. And while I was remanded,
Wait, I'm sorry. I was a criminal lawyer. I know when people get remanded and why. Did you pick up another case?
No.
Did you violate the conditions of your bail?
No.
Then you can't just drag a guy in after he's posted a bail and say, yeah, we changed our mind.
Yeah.
I know we made a deal that this would be your bail and you posted it, but we decided we're not going to keep up our end of the bar. That doesn't happen. So what was it that actually happened?
It happened, Yana. And to go smallly in depth and in detail of it, I hired an attorney. An attorney went to the appellate division, and the bail was reversed. But I can post bail again, but my niece had my money and she wouldn't bail me out.
That doesn't make any sense. There had to be something else. You had to have violated a condition,
No,
or there was
no,
a new
ma'am.
case filed, or it was a probation violation. There had to be something
Nothing,
going on
ma'am.
that would allow that. But
Nothing.
anyway, let's move on from there. So you give her $9,779 to hold in her account.
Yes.
And then do you take any of it for lawyer's fees in your
Yes.
case?
I asked my niece to find an attorney for me. She found an attorney for me, and I have a copy of the detainer.
No, not detainer, retainer.
Retainer.
And
excuse
the
me,
retainer was how much?
The retainer was $5,000.
So that's how much of the money you have used. So you got a new lawyer.
Yeah.
And then do you end up going to trial?
Yes, I'll end up
Do
going
you
to
end up
trial.
getting convicted?
Yes.
What was the charge?
The charge was possession of stolen property.
Okay, and you end up going to jail for how long?
I spent 4.5 years.
4.5 years.
Yes.
And the first lawyer was trying to get you to get a plea deal?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the plea offer?
Plea offer was 1 to 3.
Okay, but don't feel bad about that, because it's always a gamble,
Yes.
and you might have walked and, whatever. You know your case better than anybody else, and you may feel bad about it. Maybe you should feel bad about it. I don't know, but I'm not judging you because, everybody's master of their own destiny. Okay? All right, so you, during that time, the money's in her account.
Yes.
The $4,779 is in her account.
Yes.
All right, and then when you get out, and when
Well,
you get out, what happens?
During the course of my incarceration, I needed more money for my legal fees, for my attorney to go to trial with. After the bail was reinstated from the appellate division, a bond could have been posted so I can get back out. And the attorney tried several times to reach out to her to bail me out, and we never heard from her again. I have
So
copies.
what happened?
I never heard from her again. And I tried.
Wait, she's your niece, right?
She's my niece.
How is she your niece?
This is my brother's daughter.
Right. So when you say you never heard from her,
Well,
did you call your brother? Did you have the lawyer call your brother?
My brother's deceased.
sorry.
I wrote everyone I possibly could to
Okay.
try to get her to do something for me.
All right.
Post my bail, help.
So what ends up happening?
What ends up happening after I was released, I came home, I asked for my money. She gave me $1,000 of the money. So the remainder is.
What'd she say about the rest of the money?
She said she wasn't giving it to me.
On account of why?
She just said she wasn't giving it to me.
Well, what did she say when she gave you the $1,000?
She told me she doesn't owe me any money
So why did she give you the $1,000?
because she owes me the money.
Right. But wait, if she's saying I don't owe you any money, then it's inconsistent with handing you the $1,000. What did she say when she handed you the $1,000?
She told me I wasn't getting any more money from her.
Okay. She say why?
She didn't say why.
She say I don't have it. I spent it on you.
It was a dispute, and I'm not here to, make my niece look bad. I'm just trying to.
What was the dispute?
It's just a dispute over the dispensing of the money.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, I know, it's a
what
lawsuit. Now, you
Yes.
talk to me. Tell me what happened.
My uncle came home in June and he had he got a lawsuit for the amount of what he said $9,000.
A settlement.
Settlement for $9,779.
And that amount was put in your account.
Correct.
$5,000 of it did go to his lawyer years ago.
Correct.
And then that means there's an additional $4,779 that's in your account.
We never had. He never told me that it was a loan or anything. He said when he was going away, he knew he was going away. It didn't just happen. He knew he was going back to prison. He told me to make sure that I took care of the family, and that's what I did. He asked me to pay for the lawyer. He knows I'm a single mother.
Make sure you take care of the family. How does that translate to spend my money while you're doing it?
I took care of the family for the last 4 years.
What's the family? His family?
He doesn't have a family. I'm his family.
Then whose family did you take care of?
Me, my son, my mother, and his nephew. He told me to give my brother $1,000 out of the money, which I did.
To give your brother?
Yes, his nephew.
Did that happen?
No, I don't know. She gave the money to her mother. She gave her mother some of the money. Everybody used the money except me. But I told her this: whatever you use,
right? But how did she?
Put back.
Right. But did you tell her to give her brother $1,000?
No, I didn't, man.
Yeah. What did you say?
Whatever
that sounds like that. Whatever you use, put back. You guys can use it, but put it back.
Put it back. Yes. When I come home, have it for me.
So, do relatives tend to treat other relatives honestly when it comes to financial interaction?
Yes, I think so, and it also depends on that particular relative reputation. If they got a good reputation within the family, usually you go towards that person.
But you're nodding. Are you nodding yes or no?
Oh, I agree. I mean, relatives, you think they're going to stand by you because you're going to see them. You can't escape them. Friends can disappear, but you always know where your relatives are.
Do they tend to disappoint you more, or do they tend to impress you more?
You expect them to impress you more.
Huh?
You expect them to impress you more.
Do they?
Mine do.
Okay, fair, good. Going inside the courtroom.
Do you have any proof of what he said? Like, do you have text?
No, it's just his word against mine, honestly.
Yes, it is. But
if he told me that it was a loan, Your Honor, I wouldn't have took it. I didn't even want to do it. I did it because...
Well, wait a second. When you took it, it was clearly his money that you were just cashing. You know that wasn't your money. So you're the one who has the burden of proving in the courtroom, and it's your word against his. Mm-hmm. You're the one who has the burden of proving that he then gave you $5,000. Just said, you know what? Keep that $4,779. You will never... You're the one with the burden of proving that was a gift. Do you have any witnesses with you?
No, I do not.
Do you have any statements from anybody in your family?
No, I do not.
Okay. So he comes home and then you hand him $1,000.
Correct.
Why do you do that if it was supposed to be a gift?
I gave him $1,000 because he said he didn't have any money. He didn't have any place to sleep. So I said, I don't have any money, but I'm in the process of moving. I said, but I can help you out. I can give you $1,000. You're my uncle. I gave him $1,000. I told him that I didn't want anything else to do with him after I gave him $1,000. He's not mentioning that I put money on his books. I kept my phone on. It got to a point where he called me.
Explain what you're saying right now.
I put money on his books for him to have commissary.
You mean for his commissary?
Yes, correct.
While he was in prison? How much money did you put?
Close to $600.
Do you have any proof of that?
No, I think he does or something.
Do you have any proof that she put $600 in your commissary?
Yana.
Yes or no?
I don't have it with me.
Did she put $600 in?
She placed $600 in my account from her brother.
No, it was from...
The brother gave me $600 and she brought it to the jail and the receipt is in her name. It has nothing to do with this.
Why is that $600? If you have $5,000 parked there, why is the brother giving you $600? In other words, why shouldn't that come out of the amount?
Because that money was from the bail that I was remanded on. The nephew signed the bond. So that was partial payment of the bond.
So you did get that bond back?
Yes, the bond got back after the case was over.
All right.
Right. But here, Your Honor, I have proof to support. I have a letter, the closing statement from the settlement after all liens and all bills.
I don't need any of that.
All right.
There's no dispute about the amounts. The question is, did you give it to her or did you not give it to her? When you get out, the first thing she does is hand you $1,000. Doesn't sound like you gave it to her. And you're the one with the burden of proving your own defense. When the plaintiff comes into court, the plaintiff has the burden of proof. He's got to prove the money went from him to you. There's no dispute about that.
Yes.
If you're saying, I'm not going to pay it back because I don't have to because he said keep the money, then you win, but you've got to prove that. So when you said my word against his, you're right, and you're the one who has to prove that. And you have, if that's true that he was giving money away to everybody, you have a way to prove it. You have your brother who could be here and say, yeah, none of us were supposed to pay it back. You have your mother, you have all kinds of people who could do that. And I can't help but notice that you've marched in here alone. My verdict is for the plaintiff in the amount of the $3,779.
Okay.
Good luck, folks.
Thank you.
So the plaintiff is finally going to get his money back. Barbara, the defendant's come out of the courtroom. Don't you feel kind of bad for him?
No, I don't. He's a con artist. He's a liar. I don't feel bad at all. But he has his money. That's what he wanted. So more power to him.
Well, he said it was his money. You were holding it for him.
It wasn't. I didn't hold it. He never said, you have to give this back or anything. He signed the check over in my name. He signed it over to me.
Well, it was all explained. I think anybody watching would assume you should have held it for him, and it was not right for you to get rid of it. Hey, you didn't have proof, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel sorry for you. Okay?
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very goodbye. Darius,
Yes.
what you thinking?
Well, I'm happy with the verdict. I just wish that it didn't have to come to this, you know, and that is my niece, and this has separated a lot of family, and I just wish her well, and I hope that we can mend those broken bridges.
Do you think there's any possibility after bringing her to court?
I'm a Christian, and I believe in forgiveness, and I've prayed a long time and hope that, you know, we can come together again as family.
Well, good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay. What do you think, Harvey?
Doug, there's a presumption that it is always a loan when money exchanges hands like this. She has the burden of proving it's a gift, and she didn't. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Jessica Pinto. She says she hired the defendant as a DJ and MC for her daughter's Sweet 16 party. And the photo booth he brought was defective and nobody got pictures from the night. When she asked for a refund for the photo booth, he only offered her a measly $100. That's crazy. She knows, he knows, and soon the judge will know. She's suing for $2,450 for a full refund. This is the defendant, William Ritter. He says there was an incident at the party where two of the plaintiff's guests shoved the photo booth attendant and he fell into the booth and it stopped working for a while. He can prove it worked at the beginning of the party. He felt like he was being reasonable by offering her a $100 refund. Obviously, the plaintiff didn't, so here they are. He's accused of not getting the picture.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff hired the defendant to DJ as an MC for her daughter's Sweet 16 party, and the photo booth didn't work. But the defendant says two of the guests fell into the booth and broke it, but only for a while. It's the case of Grin and Barrett.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
Jessica Pinto, you are suing Mr. Ritter's company. He's asked not to mention the name of the company for $2,450, the amount that you paid him that you want returned. Actually, it's more than what you paid him that you want returned to you because the photo booth didn't work. You hired him for your daughter's Sweet 16s?
Yes.
Okay. And you employed his company to do a total of what? What were they doing?
DJ, MC, photo booth.
Okay. And was there a DJ?
Yes.
There was an MC?
Yes.
Okay. And the photo booth we're going to talk about now. So you paid him a total of how much for that?
We paid them $2,300 in total in cash.
So why are you suing for $2,400? What happened?
The photo booth is the souvenirs that's supposed to go to the guest as a memory of my daughter's Sweet 16.
Okay. So the photo booth is like literally a photo booth that people can walk in, take the picture, walk inside, or?
It's supposed to be an open photo booth.
It's an open photo booth.
Yes.
Okay. And they take the pictures. They usually have like silly hats or whatever if you want to beef it up. Mm-hmm. And then the picture gets printed out and the person takes their souvenir with them. What happened?
It didn't work.
At all?
No.
Ever?
No.
The entire night?
The entire night.
The party started at 7, but guests started arriving a little bit late because...
They were coming from out of town, Virginia, Florida.
They're Latinos?
Texas.
They're Latinos? Okay.
Yeah, they're never early.
Yeah, no, this is the only punctual Cuban you will ever meet. All right? Okay. So who's the gentleman next to you?
My boyfriend.
Were you there?
Yes.
When was the first time you remember anybody saying anything about the photo booth?
People started arriving, wanted to take pictures, nothing works. What happens? The MC comes to the photo booth, starts trying to take care of the photo booth, so now he's not doing his job. He's taking care of the photo booth, when the photo booth was supposed to come with a tech already.
A different tech.
A different tech. We hired a DJ and
Let me see your contract, and let me see where it says that there'll be a different tech for the photo booth.
It doesn't show a tech.
Okay, so where are you getting that it's supposed to be another employee?
So, okay, so they'll say there is not supposed to be another
No, I'm
employee.
asking you, where'd you get that
The
from?
MC is supposed to be the MC on the microphone. He's an MC, right? He's not the tech for the photo booth.
Normally, does a photo booth need an operator?
No, it's fully automatic.
Fully automatic. Okay, so go on.
So the MC was taking care of the photo booth on the phone.
Meaning trying to repair it? Okay, so he's trying to solve your problem.
But he was on the phone calling him, calling somebody else, trying to see how, what's
And what was he saying?
that it's broken.
What do you you weren't there, right?
Yes, I was there actually when.
No, in the beginning you were there, but you weren't there when things went wrong.
When the guest broke the photo booth, no, I was not there.
Okay, so you sub everything out, correct? You don't do anything yourself.
Yes, I do.
All right. Yes, you do
If
what?
they personally request me, I do it myself.
Oh, okay. But this was not one where you were staying for the party.
No.
All right. So did you go by there to check on things?
Yes, I fully set up everything myself, and I have the proof that the test print, which I showed him before the party with the timestamp on it at 5:10.
May I see that?
Yes, at 3 o'clock we showed up to the venue. We always set up nice and early to make sure everything works. Approximately 5:10, the test print was taken. That's when the timestamp.
What day was the party?
July 28th.
Okay. So at 5:10 p.m.
The test picture was taken. It was presented to, I don't know, the boyfriend or the husband.
Yeah.
And to show him that the photo
Okay,
booth
but then according to them it stopped working.
Yes, it did.
What happened?
Approximately 2 hours into the party, I have the statement from the photo booth worker.
Why don't you have the photo booth worker here?
Because he goes to work. He wrote me a statement.
Yeah, I mean, he's the whole case, right? Because you're going to accuse their guests of breaking your machine.
And I have the picture of the.
Why isn't he here?
He had to go to work.
Why couldn't he take the day off to testify? This is pretty important.
Absolutely.
What was it how did they break your photo machine?
So what happens approximately an hour and a half in the party, we got a phone call. 2 guests bum rushed the worker.
Bum rushed the worker?
Let me tell you the story first.
Wait, no, you just said the story. I don't understand what you said.
No, that's not the
What do you mean by bum rush?
So if a photo booth gets busted, does it ruin a Sweet 16?
No, because, I mean, if you really had a Sweet 16, it doesn't really matter about what happens. It matters if you have fun, really.
You know what? That says it all.
They pushed him? They got into a fight?
No, they went in, they took 3 pictures in the photo booth. They ran out because the pictures were supposed to print right then and there, but it was supposed to take 4 pictures. So they were running back in, then they pushed into it. He was standing there working the photo booth. They pushed into him. He fell to the side.
You're giving me a lot more detail than this letter does.
Yeah.
First of all, this letter is just typed out. Stop. This letter isn't even notarized. According to this fellow, a male and a female bum rushed into me. He doesn't give any of the detail that you just gave about the 3rd picture, the 4th picture. And why is he holding the keyboard in his hands?
Because the keyboard's for social media, so they can enter email addresses. The photo booth did work, and I have several pictures to show it did work.
Okay, hold on. The pictures you have, you printed out after the party?
No, they were printed at the party.
No, they weren't.
Okay.
When we got the phone call from the worker that something happened in the party, and the photo booth keyboard fell on the floor and command keys were hit, and they reprogrammed the program, and then the photo booth stopped working for approximately 1 hour, and then it went back up. It took several pictures, and I have all the
Prove
pictures
to me
here.
it took several pictures. You're making all kinds of proclamations, and you weren't at the party.
Here's just some.
Okay, sweetheart, you're just, hold on. I know there's timestamps. Did it print them?
Yes, that's how you see the timestamps. The timestamp, the DSLR booth software.
No, because you have a timestamp on every picture the thing took and didn't print. So every single picture that was able to be taken couldn't be printed, correct?
That's correct.
Which is the idea behind a photo booth. A printed out picture that has a timestamp now doesn't prove to me that it was spitting out pictures back then.
Yes.
I need to know that it was spitting out pictures at the party. Because that's the whole idea behind a photo booth. They got a photographer for the other thing. They don't want your pictures later. They want your pictures then.
They were there.
So now, according to you, the thing is working and spitting out pictures all but 1 hour.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any evidence of texts going back and forth between you guys after the party or during the party, even better? Let me see that. This caused the photo booth to stop. Bum rushed into me, causing me to fall to the side and the wireless keyboard to fall out of my hands onto the floor. We should be holding on a little tighter. I don't know what fall to the side means. I don't know what bum rush means either. Where they bumped into him and all of a sudden bumping into him at a party is too much? I mean,
they pushed
keyboard fall. No, they didn't push him on purpose. And if you want him to testify to that, he better be here. Causing the wireless keyboard to fall out of my hands. So he was erect onto the floor, which caused the buttons to hit the floor and several of them to break off. This caused the photo booth to stop working for around an hour. I spoke to Mr. William on the phone. That's you, right? He's
yes, ma'am.
On the phone to try and fix the damages that were caused by the keyboard hitting the floor that hit common keys to shift the system from working right. I fixed the issue. Photo booth started taking pictures again, and they printed. So for what this piece of paper that's not notarized, and I have no idea who wrote it, is worth, they're saying that printing did happen. Do you have affidavits from guests who say that no printing happened the whole night? Yeah. May I see that? Hey, the photo booth is not. Can I see it in your phone? Do you still have them in your phone?
Yes.
Yeah, because I want to see the timestamps and all that.
Sure.
This is from the catering company saying that they knew the photo booth wasn't working. It wasn't staffed by an employee. No repair was completed. These also aren't notarized, for the record. Due to a message on the screen, we visually saw him turn around as he was trying to handle the microphone and the keyboard, and he dropped the keyboard on the floor and then picked it up and placed it back on the prop table. No one bumped this man. Even then, the photo booth was still not working. No one had picture printouts nor pictures emailed. Blah, blah, blah. Who is this person to you?
It's one of my friends that I invited to the Sweet 16.
Hey, the photo booth is not working. You say to her at 9:15, because I guess people had called you or something. She had called you or your guy had
called me to fix the photo booth.
Who had?
The photo booth worker.
Because he doesn't know how to fix it?
No, because there's no
by photo booth worker, you mean the MC, right?
It's automatic.
Okay. Well, apparently not. All right. She says at 1 a.m., I'm very disappointed. You're responsible for the service, and if the service was not replaced, a full refund should be given back to the customer. Your MC had it in his hands and saw it was not working. I paid for a DJ, which did an amazing job. I have nothing to say to you, just want my refund. Okay, the MC shouldn't be handling the photo booth, period. Okay, he shouldn't. And if the photo booth, if it's a fully automated photo booth and we don't have to worry about a thing, then that would be fine. But if the MC has the keyboard in his hand and he's running around with microphones and everything else, and somebody bumps into him and he drops the keyboard, I expect it to be fixed right away, one way or the other. Which either because you send somebody and they give a new keyboard and they program it again, but it isn't. And how do you figure that I'm going to order him to pay you back more than you paid him?
I would try to ask him how much was just the photo booth. He didn't give me an answer. He said the photo booth was $650, and I said you didn't put that on there. And I don't know how much was just only the photo booth.
No, you don't get all of your money back. That would be ridiculous. Okay?
Can I?
Yeah.
In the text messages, it did say that they all printed out. She just didn't take them at the end of the party. They were underneath the printer.
Prove that. Where does it say that?
It's in the text messages.
That's you saying it. You said that she was saying it.
I said that I told her that the prints were still there.
Of course the prints are still there.
They were still at the venue.
Oh, my God. Are you listening to yourself? They're inside the computer, but they didn't print out for the guests. That's what matters. We're done. We're done.
They were printed.
Okay? I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiffs on their claim against you for the photo booth. I find that you have to provide a refund of $700. That's my verdict. Oh, my gosh.
That's ridiculous.
So the defendant's on his way out of the courtroom. The judge is found against you for $700. Goes back to her.
Yes, that's totally understandable. But the judge did not read the text message that said it did print.
Well, no, she did, but they weren't there at the time.
Yes, they were there at the time. That's what I was trying to say to her. She wouldn't listen to my claim.
Well, that's not the way we understood it. No, sorry about that. All right, you must sign a few documents on your way out of the courtroom. Here comes Ms. Pinto. Now, we heard so much about what was wrong with this party.
Yes.
It was all bad. This didn't work. That didn't. So how was the party? When you put it all together, did they have a great time?
They had a great time, but no pictures. So it was disappointing.
Was it that? Did it ruin it that much that there were no pictures? Are you serious?
I had people come from
Texas.
They
were dancing and doing all kinds of party stuff, and the pictures ruined the party? Yeah. I find that hard to believe, really.
When you go on vacation, wouldn't you like a souvenir?
Well, yeah, but I mean, come on. Those kids had a party. You know they had a good time.
Texas,
Didn't they have a good time?
Yes.
Admit it.
Yes.
Okay, good enough. All right. You're going to get $700 back. Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Okay. I don't know. Harvey, what do you think?
I mean, look, she was suing for the total cost of the party. The fact is there was value for what the defendant did. So what the judge did is kind of looked at it and said, you know what? Give her a third.